Greetings and Wastelanders, welcome back to Fallout 76. So today I'm going to be sharing with you my full health build, which relies on damage mitigation because, while it may be pretty badass to be able to one-shot everything in the room, I think it's even more badass to be able to get shot by everything in the room, live through it, and then kill everything back. Eventually. Alright, so we're going to start with my power armor. I have removed my enclave paint so that you can see that I am indeed wearing T65 Secret Service power armor. Let's move on to my mitigations real quick. Damage resistance 1112, energy is 1003, radiation 1170. Onto the helmet. Nothing special about this. I do have a targeting HUD on here, which highlights living targets. And that highlights literally everything, whether it's a robot or a rad roach or a ghoul or what have you. It creates a red outline around them and they glow a little bit. That's why I remove this helmet every time I go to make a video. It's kind of distracting. On top of that, I have minus 7% incoming damage, minus 15% incoming radiation damage, 500% underwater water breathing. Just like any other helmet, it prevents damage and disease from airborne and waterborne hazards. Moving on, my left leg. I do have Vanguard on every single piece of equipment, minus the helmet, of course, which gives me an extra 140 damage resist and 140 energy resist. Okay, left leg, I have a plus 2 luck on here, plus 50 durability, plus 50 carry weight, minus 7% incoming damage, minus 15% incoming radiation damage. Right leg, 2 agility, food, drink, and chem weights reduced by 20% because I carry a lot of food on me. I carry a lot of stim packs. Plus 50 carry weight, minus 7% incoming damage, minus 15% incoming radiation damage. Alright, my torso. On top of the jetpack, I have plus 2 strength. I also have safe cracker on here. I need to get rid of this. I just haven't found legendary that I want to put on here. Safe cracker is absolute trash. On top of that, it's 7% incoming damage, minus 15% incoming radiation damage. Onto the left arm, plus 2 agility, junk item weights reduced by 20%. Minus 7% incoming damage, minus 50% incoming radiation damage. And finally, my T65 right arm, plus 25% environmental disease resistance, minus 5% damage taken while not moving. Now, every time that procs, it initiates a 20-second cooldown. I also have minus 7% incoming damage and minus 15% incoming radiation damage. Let's take a look at my perk cards. Alright, so on to perk cards. I have 15 in strength, 6 perception, 15 endurance, 1 charisma. I don't really need charisma. I solo content 90% of the time when I play anyways. Intelligence 15, agility 11, luck 8. Now starting with strength, I have bandolier, ballistic weapon, ammo weighs 90% less. I have all 3 heavy gunner perks. It gives you an additional bonus, 60% damage with heavy guns. I have portable power. All power armor parts and chassis weights are reduced by 75%. I also have traveling pharmacy. Weights of all chems, including stim packs, are reduced by 90%. I carry a shitload of stim packs on me. Over to perception. I have refractor, gain energy resistance based on your perception, and I have butcher's bounty because I hunt a lot. 80% chance to find extra meat from animal corpses. Endurance. I have rat resistant, gain radiation resistance based on your end. That's a big one. Aqua Boy, it was absolutely worthless. I just had 1 extra endurance point to waste, so I chose Aqua Boy. The hell with it. You no longer take rad damage from swimming and can breathe underwater. Comes in handy about 7% of the time. Maybe 8, I don't know. Ghoulish. Yeah, I thought, fuck it, why not? It actually works pretty well. Radiation now regenerates even more if you lost health. I have through hiker, food and drink weights are reduced by 90% because of all the food I carry on me. Ironclad armor provides 25% more protection. Double if wearing a matching set. I am wearing a matching set, so it gives me 50% protection. And Life Giver, gain more max HP per point in endurance. Of course, over to Hard Bargain. That's not important at all. Alright, Intelligence. Power Patcher. Your power armor breaks 60% slower and it's cheaper to repair. That comes in handy. Batteries included. Energy weapon. Ammo weighs 90% less because I also carry a Gatling plasma on me. I like to switch back and forth between that and my explosive minigun. Switch it up when I get bored. I have Demolition Expert. Your explosives do 60% damage because I have an explosive minigun. In power armor, heavy guns gain excellent accuracy and ignore 45% armor. That's a biggie with heavy weapons. Power user. Fusion core duration is now double because I'm always in power armor. First aid, stim packs restore more hit points based on your intellect. I rely on stim packs as basically like my oh shit button pretty much. Alright, now over to agility. Action Boy. Action points regenerate 45% faster. Adrenaline, gain 10% damage for 30 seconds per kill. Duration refreshes with kills, max of 60%. That actually comes in handy quite well. And I have Dodgy. Avoid 30% of incoming damage at the cost of 30 action points per hit. Dodgy and Action Boy are kind of my bread and butter. They work hand in hand. Action Boy helps to mitigate my action point losses a lot more than I thought it would. Alright, now over to Luck. Good with salt. Food in your inventory will spoil 90% slower because, like I said, I have a shitload of food in my inventory. One gun army. Heavy guns gain 12% stagger chance and 75% limb damage. That's pretty big. And of course, bloody mess, like everybody else should. 15% bonus damage means enemies may explode into a gory red face. Let's take a look at the legendary perks. Nothing too special up here. I have the legendary version of intelligence. I have what rads, plus 300 rad resist restores 6 rads per second. I have perception, endurance, agility, and luck. That is 5 points per legendary perk. Alright, on to the weaponry. Alright, so on to the weapons I'm using. Well, I really don't use the Gauss minigun anymore, actually. I quit using this maybe a week before we had the ability to create our own legendary mods. Once I get a Furious mod and a couple other things I want to slap on here, I'll go back to it. I will not go back to using ultrasight ammo. It's ridiculous. It pisses through ultrasight ammo like David Hasselhoff goes through German groupies. And he's in his 60s or 70s, isn't he? He's still banging German groupies. Anyhow, this is a Gorman's Tesla capacitor Gauss minigun. So damage increases up to 24% as you fill your hunger and thirst meters. 50% chance to hit a target in VATS, minus 90% weight. Without that, it would be like 36 pounds. And bullets explode for 15% weapon damage. Mods on it right now are Tri-Barrel and Tesla coil capacitor with gunner sights. Next weapon is my backup weapon. This is my Furious Sigma Squad Scattered Gatling Plasma. It's only called Sigma Squad because of the paint that's on there. So, since it's Furious, I have plus 5% damage per onslaught stack, max of 9 stacks. Projectiles explode for 20% weapon damage, plus 50 durability, plus 20% armor penetration. My mods are Gamma Wave Emitter, Rifled Barrel, Stinging Core Receptacle, quite important there. That was a bitch to farm. Reflex Sight, and a Beam Splitter. My primary weapon I'm using most of the time right now anyhow is my Furious high-powered minigun. Since Furious gives me the plus 5% damage per onslaught stack, max of 9. Projectiles explode for 20% weapon damage and minus 90% weight. Without that weight reduction, it would be at me, I think 36, 37, 38 pounds, something like that. The mods I'm running on it right now are Tri-Barrel, Gunner Sight, and Shredder. Alright, now on to my stats. Alright, so on to effects. This is what it looks like on paper, or, well, on the screen, I guess. Anyhow, you know what I mean, it's not important. So, Action Boy gives me plus 45% action point regen. Aqua Boy, water breathing, not really important. Bloody Mess, plus 15% damage. Of course, Demolition Expert gives me plus 60% explosive damage. First Aid, plus 45% stim pack healing. Good with salt, minus 90% food spoil rate. All 3 Heavy Gunner gives me a bonus of 60% heavy gun damage. Ironclad, plus 50% armor bonus. Life Giver gives me an extra 140 hit points. From my power armor, I have an extra 10 strength. Rad Resistance gives me plus 73 rad resist. Refractor gives me 33 energy resist. And of course, Vanguard is on 4 pieces of my power armor, gives me once again a total of 140 damage and energy resistance. Come down here, now fully fed and fully hydrated, or more important, when I was running around with my Gorman's Gauss minigun. But anyhow, fully fed gives me 1 strength, 35 hit points, plus 35% disease resist. Fully hydrated gives me 1 endurance, 35% action point regen, and 35% disease resist. Now, the 35% action point regen helps with my dodgy ability and agility. Helps regain some of those lost action points. So, now, while I do not hold the same numbers as a bloody build or a plasma caster build, the DPS on this guy is truly not too terrible. I can eventually mow shit down. A lot of the bigger shit too. But all in all, I'm tired of talking. That's my build. Thanks for stopping by and watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.